Hey guys, Mr. Hot Cat here doing a deck tech of my mono black deck. I wasn't going to do a deck tech with this, but then it turned out to be the only deck I've made videos with that just pretty much dominated everyone I played against. It performed so well that I figured I should probably come back and make a deck tech with it. There's not really a straight theme to this deck. Pretty much just kill dudes, make them discard a little bit, and play some big guys. Just typical mono black deck. Alright, let's go through what we got here. Running one copy of Suffer the Past, which is mostly in here just for some last ditch life gain, and is, to finish out the game, just burn them out right at the end. A couple copies of Deadweight, good as a knock down their big creatures a notch so your creatures can kill them, or just can flat out destroy weaker dudes. Undying Evil's great. It is a great combat trick to get your guys back. I like to use it on the Liliana Spectre. You just block with the Spectre, chump block with it, and Undying Evil, and they got to get rid of another card. Brain Maggot's great, lets you see what you're up against, which is the most important part. Plus, it can also exile something. Most of the time, they'll end up getting it back eventually, but it helps slow them down a little. And like I said, the most important thing about this card is it lets you see what is coming up. So, you play this card and you see, like, oh, they got a Planar Cleansing in their hand. You know not to just play a bunch of big dudes because, that's coming up. Very, very handy card. Next up, we got 2 copies of Vicious Hunger, which is just, a little bit more expensive shock with some life gain. It's not the best removal, but it does what you need it to. Couple copies of Tribute to Hunger, which is I'm not going to say it's great removal. The life gain isn't, that important. But it's nice and it makes some sacrifice so you can kill something that's indestructible, but that doesn't come up a lot in this format. Honestly, this card ends up being a dead card most of the time, especially if they have, they'll have like a Palaka Worm and then a couple tokens, so you ain't going to get rid of the Palaka Worm with this guy. But we have another card to deal with that later. Running 3 copies of Liliana Spectre, great card. Discard's great, it's a 2/1 in the air. If you're running a mono black deck, you should probably be running this card regardless of what kind of format you're going for. Running 3 cards of Phyrexian Rager, or 3 copies. Well, 3 copies is 3 cards. Just a nice little 2/2 creature, but you get to draw a card. You lose 1 life, but that's not a big deal. He's one of your only card draw engines for the early game. And you got a couple copies of Assassinate, which is probably the worst removal in this deck, but no one ever sees it coming. So sometimes you can get a good kill with this. A couple copies of Graveborn Muse, which is our mid-range kind of card draw engine. Overall, just a great card. The 3/3 body can block most stuff. If you get both of them, you get 2 cards, or 4 cards actually. Shadowborn Demon, he's not super great in this deck, mostly because you don't have a lot of creatures you want to kill, except for maybe the Spectres and the Ragers. So a lot of times you'll play him and then the next turn just kill himself. But sometimes you get to swing in once or twice with him, and it is just nice to have another removal card that can target anything, well, except for angels and demons. Indulgent Tormentor is kind of our later game draw engine. This guy's great. I love this card. The opponent has to make kind of a tough choice. Either they sacrifice a creature, pay 3 life, or you get a card. 1 copy of Monomania. This helps a lot against control decks. If you can get them to tap out and then you hit them with this and they lose all their control. That's mostly why this is here. A couple copies of Flesh to Dash, which is important because this will just let you kill any creature with no downsides. Since we are mono black, we're running 2 copies of Nightmare because this guy just gets nuts. And he's in the air. And then my Lady Shlodred. Probably my favorite card in this entire format right now. She is an absolute beast. Beginning of your upkeep, you get a creature back. At the beginning of their upkeep, they lose a creature. Plus she has Swamp Walk. And it's a 6/6. Couple copies of Runescar Demon, obvious reasons. Again, if you're running a mono black deck, you probably want Runescar Demon. Even if you're splashing black and if you're using any color combination that includes black, probably want to put in Runescar Demon. One copy of Grizzlebrand, which I normally don't run Grizzlebrand in any deck, but he's worked out quite well for me in this one. Especially the pay 7 life, draw 7 cards. That saved me a few times. And then 3 copies of Armillary Sphere. Oh, excuse me. Which I'm running this over, say, I don't want to scroll to it, over the Darksteel Ingot, because this gives me 2 mana. Since I'm only running black cards, I don't need the the mana fixing that the Darksteel gives me as much as I just want the two basic lands. So it's kind of a cultivate for 4. It's useful because we do have a lot of expensive cards. As far as lands go, I'm running 20 swamps and 4 Radiant Fountains. The Radiant Fountains just help you get a little life early on because we don't have a lot of early game. The first creature you really want to go to block stuff with is probably the Rager, and that's not till turn 3. So your first 2 turns, you're not going to have any creatures you want to chump with or anything. So alright, here you go. That is my mono black deck. As you'll see throughout the week, it is a beast of a deck. So hope you enjoy it, and thanks for watching. Bye.